But what I do know is this. The Browns' defense is going to be what carries them this year, and that's going to be what's consistent all the way through.
Oh, yeah. Like, the Browns' defense, like you said, best in the league, definitely. It's too bad, that the offense, like Nick Chubb, had to go down and that they don't have a healthy Deshaun right now, because this could be a Super Bowl contending team with that defense. 4 of the 5 best single-game performances this season, if you look at success rate, Browns' defense. And what's crazy is what they did against the run game for San Francisco. And again, Christian McCaffrey goes down, but he played the first 3 quarters of that game.
Yeah.
And in that game, San Fran ripped off consecutive runs of 8, 27, and 5 yards to start the first drive. After that, 22 carries for just 68 yards. That's Jim
rough.
Schwartz right there. Mm-hmm. That's all those pickups. And Myles Garrett, he had the highlight play where he hip toss Trent Williams, but it was Delvin Tomlinson. It was all those other guys. That Browns defense is the real deal, man. If they could find a way to score 24 to 28 points per game, they could be a Super Bowl contending team. But they're going to have to get healthy, obviously.
And that's what we were talking about the Browns being, 2 years ago, right? It was like, they're a Super Bowl, or they're a quarterback away.
Yeah.
Right? You look at them as being a quarterback away. When you take a 49ers team that's averaging over 400 yards a game on offense and you hold them to 215 and under 20 points, that's a big deal. I still look at the 49ers and Eagles as the 2 best teams in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
But the Lions are starting to now creep in. And I'll admit, some of this may also be the fact that it's the Lions. We've talked about this, right? The Denver Nuggets winning a title. It's like, but it's the Denver Nuggets, and it's hard to say championship and Denver Nuggets. Well, it's hard for me to say contenders and Detroit Lions. But the reality of it is the Detroit Lions look like a contender, and now they've added Jameson Williams, who, my God, this guy was looked at as possibly the best wide receiver in that class when he was drafted. Now we're actually getting an opportunity to see him out there after that 4-game suspension, and you've just added another dynamic to an offense that was already one of the most potent in the NFL.
Well, and the thing that's interesting about the Lions is the only loss that they had was in overtime against the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could be very easily undefeated right now, and they have quality wins. You beat the Chiefs in Week 1. Maybe you say that's like, the Chiefs don't have Travis Kelce, and they don't have Chris Jones, and they're coming off of a Super Bowl, so maybe they weren't exactly focused, but the Lions are coming in with the pieces that they have, and they're beating the people that they have in front of them. So, if this wasn't the Lions and they had the San Francisco 49ers had the Lions roster, we'd be saying that this roster was good enough to compete for a Super Bowl.
For sure. And I really like, obviously, Ben Johnson, the OC.
Yeah.
And, you love the offense. We love Aiden Hutchinson. It's still, I agree with what you're saying, Nick. Like, right now they're a top 10 team, but I'm not going to put them over the Eagles or the Niners. Even though Jared Goff, we've seen him play in a Super Bowl before. Brock Purdy, we've seen him play in an NFC Championship game, and then Jalen played in the Super Bowl last year. So, I trust all 3 quarterbacks in those systems enough, but they all just have to stay healthy, right? Like, for the Lions to succeed and to win a playoff game, Jared Goff's going to need all those pieces. And you saw yesterday David Montgomery get injured. Gibbs wasn't playing in that game.
And they're going to need to get a home game.
Yeah, they're going to probably need a home game because you don't want to see Goff on the road. You don't want to see Goff, with a team
in
that
an
could get a bunch
environment.
that could get a bunch of pressure. You guys see how it ended, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Mac Jones, literally the one thing that you don't do is you take a sack in that situation.
Yes.
Not only just from a betting standpoint, but just to give your team a chance. Mm-hmm. And he's got everything open underneath, and he takes a sack. Mac Jones was terrible. So, no, I wouldn't feel comfortable, but I feel like I would only take the Patriots. I'm a little worried about the Bills' injuries right now, man, on defense. I got a lot of Bills futures now, and the Trey White injury, of course, sucks. Matt Milano injury sucks. And that's the only thing that concerns me. But, yeah, man, the Pats, it's probably over for them. They're a bad watch right now. I think Mac Jones is one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league. And he's broken right now.
It's a pass for me as well. I'd probably only go Patriots team total under. That's not been released yet, but I just don't see it with the Patriots. The offense is abysmal. The defense is not what it used to be. They just don't have any talent. At home.
They really don't.
They really don't. The weather forecast is fine. It's 61 and sunny on Sunday, so I was looking at that. It's a pass for me.
Commanders are 1.5-point favorites at the Giants. That totals 40. The Falcons are 2.5-point dogs at Tampa. Totals 38.5 there. So a couple low totals for both those games.
Too much ambiguity in what's going on with the Giants.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff, obviously, around Saquon. Is he back? Is he not back? How healthy is he?
He was awesome last night. He deserved that win.
What was up with, what's up with Daniel Jones? Like, Tyrod's there. Like, I just don't want to bet that game. Divisional rivalry. You're talking about a New York team that's desperate. It's a no for me.
Is it weird that I feel better about Tyrod,
Then Daniel Jones?
Because that offensive line is so bad. And, Daniel Jones can move. He's athletic. That's what he does. He uses his legs.
Tyrod has a faster decision-making ability.
Yeah, he knows either I'm going to get crushed or I'm going to get rid of the ball, or I got to get rid of it quickly.
Yes.
And, he doesn't throw it to the other team and he doesn't fumble nonstop. So I feel better with him. Also, that was just a great spot last night with the Giants, right? Tyrod, revenge game, Dayball going back home. Had the right game plan. They were always going to cover the 16, and they probably should have won that game. That was clear holding on Darren Waller in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have liked to see that called because that was clear as day. But I wouldn't touch that game.
No.
Honestly, I'd probably lean Giants, to be honest with you.
I mean, listen, if there's any offensive line that allows teams to stay in a game against the Commanders. We got a couple of minutes. Should we do a little Change My Mind Monday, Scott? You got a couple things to change our mind with?
Sure. While we're commercial with the baseball game and the football game, absolutely. Live here from MGM National Harbor. Stop by, say hi. Trista, Ryan, Nick. We're here on a Monday. Change My Mind on a Monday as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the 49ers are fine. Injuries shocked the system. CMC as of late today, courtesy of Kyle Shanahan. MRI for his oblique and ribs. Debo, shoulder day-to-day. Trent Williams, ankle, but not the dreaded high ankle sprain. Trista, change my mind. Niners are fine. It was just an injury thing that shocked the system.
Well, it looks like there's a lot of optimism on the SB Nation site for the Niners that Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel will be okay. I think as long as Christian McCaffrey is okay, I think you can kind of lose one receiver for this team here and there. Injuries are part of the deal, right? You're gonna get guys like Debo Samuel getting dinged, but Christian McCaffrey is the guy. You could make the case that he could be the MVP so far of this year, and Brock Purdy was the one leading in the clubhouse. So as long as CMC is healthy and Trent Williams is healthy, because like you said, Ryan, he's the only offensive lineman that's grading out as a good O-lineman for this team, right?
Yeah.
So as long as those two guys are healthy, I think the Niners will be just fine.
Yeah, I don't have too much worry when it comes to the 49ers. I still think they're the best team in the NFL, but injuries can become more than just a problem. They can become we can overlook them. They can become a real issue, and I think that's what you have to be careful of. If you don't have CMC consistently and Debo, I memean, those are your two most versatile weapons you have. I'm okay right now with the 49ers, but if that stuff lingers, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah, as long as they have, a couple, Christian McCaffrey has to come back, especially for a playoff run, but they still have other options. Debo's going to have to be healthy. Not really worried about the defense. Love Fred Warner. I'm a little bit worried about the DBs because you could hit him with explosive passes, but what team in the NFC could really take advantage other than the Eagles? Not really worried about them either. Detroit, I don't think they're there yet. Seattle had a tough loss yesterday, so not really all that worried. They should be fine, but they do have to stay healthy. You're going to need guys like Christian McCaffrey and Debo, obviously. Because I like Purdy, but I like Purdy with those weapons.
Right. I think, honestly, if we're looking at the 49ers, if it's minor injuries, you're going to have that. And listen, if it's one, like Debo misses a game, Christian McCaffrey misses a game, you've got enough depth where you can make up for it.
It survives.
It's when it becomes 3, 4, 5 weeks, Brock Purdy, yes. Listen, as much as I love the story, and again, I'm one of the biggest Brock Purdy fans there is, he's going to need those weapons around him. He's not going to elevate everybody the same way. Yeah. So,
every good quarterback needs weapons, though.
Let's be honest.
Except for Mahomes.
Yeah.